Hey guys, so I've emptied out nearly the entire greenhouse. All the bonsai are out on their stands, and we got a really early spring this year, so I'm just now getting around to planting my vegetable garden because I cannot let the bonsai get overheated, so I have to get those out first. But anyways, my vegetable garden is ready to be planted, but there's one thing that a lot of people deal with, and that's really poor soils, heavy clays or fast draining sand. Whatever the case might be, there's a lot of problems with different soils across the country and across the world. Very few people are lucky to be like they are in Seattle, where they have an extremely rich soil where you can just about throw anything in the ground and it grows extremely well. But what I'm going to show you today is how to improve really poor soils. It's a super simple method and is extremely low cost. The first thing you're going to need is in this container here. Second is in this small container here. Third is a product you'll need to buy. It's very cheap, and the most important part of improving soil is this right here. And you can get this for completely free. You just have to make it yourself, but you can buy it, and I'll show you both ways where you can purchase it, where it's very pure, and where you can make it where it's very cheap. So let's head outside and I'll show you the first step of how to create the most important component of improving poor soils. Now, the first and most important component of this system is charcoal, just ordinary charcoal. You can make it in a fire pit. You have to use some very special methods to do this. You can't just throw some wood in a fire pit and expect to have this charcoal. You have to do a couple of procedures there, and I can make a video explaining exactly how to make your own charcoal. But if you want to just purchase it, you'll need to make sure that the charcoal has no additives, no easy light. It needs just to be 100% pure charcoal and no chemical additives. So let's get started on turning this lump charcoal into exactly the right size we need, about the size of a small marble. Now I have an entire bucket of this charcoal, and what I'm doing is I'm breaking it down to really small pieces. You don't have to turn it into a fine powder, but you just want to break it to where it's pretty small, marble size and smaller. Something like these stones right here, you just want it pretty small. One of the best methods you can use is some large piece of concrete like this, and one of these tamping tools. I got this from Lowe's or Home Depot many years ago, and I've used it. It's usually for compressing down the ground, but just remember, you want to do something like this. If you are going to use a hammer and get up close and do this, you want to wear some safety goggles. But with the long reach on this handle, I don't have to be right there at it. I can just be 3 or 4 feet away. Still a good idea to wear glasses either way. Now after I crush it, I'm just going to collect it in a dustpan and put it in a plastic container. You can make small batches like this, or you can go up to the size of a 5-gallon bucket, but you just want to collect it all you can and just put it in your bucket before we go on to step 2. Now the next ingredient you're going to need is pure rainwater, and you want rainwater because you don't want chlorine or any other chemicals in the water. You want it as pure as possible because you don't want to hinder any microbial growth. You want good bacteria growing this and all the microbes and other good things. So you're going to first add your crushed charcoal to some really pure rainwater. Now if you can't get access to rainwater, there is another option. You can use regular tap water, but you need to set it outside and let it off-gas the chemicals, especially the chlorine that might actually be in it. Now the next ingredient you're going to add is critical, and this is where all of the life comes from that's going to be growing in this charcoal. Charcoal has very special characteristics. It allows the microbes to grow in these tiny little microscopic pockets. So you're going to take this right here. This is black cow composted manure. This is where the growth begins of all those good bacteria and microbes. So you're going to add this to your charcoal. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to carefully stir the two together. Make sure it's well mixed. And you want it to be like this, kind of a consistency of a runny soup, because you want to be able to easily apply this to wherever you're planting, whether in a raised garden bed or in open ground. And you want to do this preferably at the very beginning of the season after your coldest weather is over with, freezing weather that is. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you place it in really deep shade. You don't want sunlight hitting up this bucket and killing all the bacterial growth and all the microbes there. When sunlight hits one of these buckets, it can get well over 120, 130 degrees inside. So you just want to make sure that it's in deep shade. The next thing you want to do is you don't want it to overfill with rain, and you just want to loosely fit one of the bucket lids that come with it and just have it offset just a little bit where air can escape any heat that builds up, and just put that somewhere where it's protected from rain and sunlight. Now you want to do this over a period of 7 days. You want to keep it in the shade, away from sunlight, freezing temperatures. Make sure that you're past your last frost state. If not, you can put it inside of a basement or a garage just to keep the water from freezing. Once you've done that for a minimum of 7 days, 14 days would be even better, but once 14 days passes, you should have quite a bit of growth inside of the bucket, microbial growth. You may have a little bit of odor, but it's okay, it's perfectly fine. You want to take something, a pitcher like this, spread it across the top of your raised bed. Now if you're doing this in ground that's not, if it's really poor soil, now these soils are all from different soils I've either made. I'll put a link to a video where I showed you how to make your own soil. And also, if it's in open ground where the soil is really, really poor or bad soil, then you need to do a little bit of tilling first. Take a hoe or a rake and just disturb the top of the soil, break it up, and then you want to add your new charcoal mixture to that area. Just liberally put it all over the ground. Now in the case of these, it's not quite as critical about mixing. But like I said, if you are putting it in open ground that has not been cultivated or you haven't grown anything it before, you want to make sure that you do a good bit of tilling first. So the last thing you want to add is bone meal, and that's going to add a really important component because it has a lot of minerals in it, and it's just an animal byproduct from the food processing industry, and it's very cheap too. So you're just going to take some of that and you're going to add it to the top of the soil and just sprinkle it across like that. Now one thing you want to do, try not to do it on a windy day like I'm doing it. Usually it's pretty still out here in the afternoons right now, but for some reason today we have a lot of wind blowing, a lot of air movement. But anyways, you just want to breathe it because it's not good for your lungs. But add it to the top of your garden, and then the last thing you need to do is you need to mix it in very well. One last thing before I let you go, I'll show you where you can get the most important component, which is the charcoal, and I'll tell you why this particular brand I like. Now I'll give you a quick look at my soil, and it is very heavy clay. There's not a lot of nutrition in it, and it doesn't drain properly. So last year and the year before, I planted Japanese persimmon, mulberry, and even fig, and it really has done quite well because before I planted it, I mixed in the exact formulation I just showed you into the planting hole, a little bit of sand to help with drainage, but overall they've done extremely well. The persimmons were extremely good last fall when we collected them, and so taking really poor soil like this and adding our charcoal recipe to it will make all the difference in the world for your garden and your landscaping. Now I wanted to give you a close-up of this bag, and the name of it is quite humorous. It's Jealous Devil Hardwood, and it is lump charcoal, and specifically there's no chemicals, no fillers, and nothing added to it that would be detrimental to your garden. So just remember, if you can find this brand, or the more important thing is to make sure it says no chemicals, no fillers, and it's just pure hardwood that you can crush down and add it to the mix we made. So just be really careful about what type of charcoal you use. You don't want any lighter fluid added to it. You want it to be pure and clean if you're going to add it to your garden, and ultimately something you're going to eat. So if you've been to a garden center in the last 30 years, you've probably seen black cow. If you're lucky enough to live near a farm and you have access to composted manure from your local farmer, that would be even better because you could get it at quite a discount. This isn't cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than having a cow. Another thing is you want to make sure that you keep this bag out of the sun too, because these bags can overheat and it can kill some of the microbial life too. So just remember, when you store it, put it in a shady spot, not out in pure open sun. So that's our two main ingredients, is our lump charcoal that we crush down and this right here. But remember, it's really important that you do make sure that you're using rainwater, or you've allowed tap water to off-gas the chlorines that are in there. But it's just going to be better overall if you capture your own rainwater. I think that's going to work better for your garden. Now, one final note is you don't have to use black cow or composted manure. If you make your own compost, you can use that as well. Just add it to your rainwater, allow it to sit for about 7 to 14 days, and just do the exact same procedure I just showed you. I think it works better when you're using composted manure. I think that's the better thing to do. So guys, if you have any questions about this video or any previous video, please leave a comment once you become a subscriber, because I always put the questions and comments to the front of the line of people who subscribe. I get so many comments, it's just not possible to answer every question. It would take up about 2 or 3 hours of my day every day, and since I'm managing this garden full time, it's really hard to do both. So I really appreciate it when you do subscribe, and it really helps me out. So if you have any questions, please do that first. So guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.